Wow, that's a good start. Hello everyone, I thought I would come on and just do a little chatty video today. I've never actually just sat down and introduced myself, so I thought, why not, come on, tell you a little bit about my life, who I am, what I'm doing. I also popped some questions on Instagram yesterday, so thank you so much if you sent in a question, so I can go through, do a little Q&A, and just introduce myself, because I feel like I've just kind of like shared all my lovely little trips and house renovation and just day-to-day life, but nobody really knows like who I am, so I've never really said hello or shared like my story. So I thought I would do that today. Where to start? I was born in northwest London. I lived there, well, I was born, bred there, lived there with my mum and my dog at the time. I lived in a town called Harrow. Some people know it, some people don't. Most people tend to know it for the boys' school up on the hill, the bougie end of it. But I lived there and all my family lived around there. So I'm regularly back that way, just seeing family and friends. But to be fair, a lot of my friends have actually moved out of London, out of that kind of area, because it is still very expensive, even though it's sort of like the kind of edge of London, still very expensive. So a lot of people have moved out, including me. George, my partner, is from Yorkshire. He is from a village in West Yorkshire, a very cute little village. That's where all of his family are, and we actually met down in London. So when he finished uni, he moved to London to work, and obviously I lived there. That's where my family home is. So we met in London. We met in 2019, so how long ago was that now? I should probably know this. 6 years ago. That's crazy, it's gone so fast. And we met in around sort of like July time. Not long after I actually was moving to Australia. So I had planned this big move. I wanted to go and live in Australia for a year, experience that sort of life. I feel like it was something you had to do at that time. I was about, oh my gosh, my maths is actually shocking. I'm 29 now. I was about 23 years old at the time. So I was planning my move to Australia. I had met George before I went and was like, hi, but I'm also moving to Australia soon, so I won't be here for long. But we still spent time together and we got on really well. And then I up and left in August, and we stayed in contact, but obviously I was like living in Australia and he was living here, and I wanted to just enjoy my sort of like year abroad. Not long after, my grandma sadly had a stroke, a couple of months into my trip, so I had to come back much sooner than I wanted to. So she had a stroke, so obviously I wanted to be with my family, I wanted to come back. She was not in a good way at all, spent a lot of time in hospital, and recovery was not really a thing, sadly. She had locked-in syndrome, so it was a pretty heavy stroke. It was not good. She spent 2 years in that kind of condition. We did everything for her, and absolutely love her, miss her to bits. So I came back much sooner than I expected to, and obviously it was great for me and George, I suppose, because I was back sooner and we reconnected as soon as I got back, which was really nice. And he was there for me through all my grandma's things that were going on, and it was just like great to have him by my side. And then not long after that, the most spoken about thing ever, COVID, hit in March 2020. So in a way it was a blessing that I had come back when I did, because I know a lot of people that got stuck there, and I would have absolutely hated that. So obviously I would have never managed to do a year there anyway because of COVID, or it wouldn't have been the same anyway. So in COVID, George actually moved in with me and my mum, which was obviously just like the roguest thing ever, because it was just COVID and I don't know what was going on at the time. And I suppose we were all doing that. Everyone was moving in with their partners and stuff like that. So it was very strange, very kind of like different start to a relationship, I guess. And then about 6 months in, I would say, I think it was around September time, and I was between like one of the waves, we were looking at places to move out of London. I always knew I wanted to move out to like the countryside. George is obviously from a village and very much like Yorkshire countryside vibe. So we moved to Buckinghamshire, a town called Aylesbury. So that's our first little place together. It was really cute. I'll see if I can actually insert a picture. It was a little pink house. It was just so cute. We moved with my little dog at the time, Casey. Just started our life in Aylesbury. We stayed in Aylesbury for about 4 years in the end, like way longer than we thought we would, but I feel like COVID just kept going on, so that was probably took 2 years of our life. And then we ended up seeing another place in Aylesbury that was a bit bigger, because your first place was a 2-bedroom but quite small bedrooms, like a garden that you had to walk around to, So it wasn't like attached, which wasn't great when you have a dog. So yeah, we ended up getting another house, which was a 3-bedroom house in the same area that we were. It was called Watermead, so it was a really cute little part of Aylesbury that was on like the water, and there was a little pub there. It was like all the houses were like so colourful, it was so cute, it was like Balamory. So yeah, we ended up renting another house there. It was a 3-bedroom, much bigger, it had like its own driveway and its own garden, so that was really cute. And then it was like 2 years past, I think it was 2 years or maybe a year and a half, and we were like, it's time to buy. We just felt like we were ready and we needed to get on the property ladder. So we started looking, and that takes us to last year, 2024. So we started looking in January 2024 for our house. We weren't really sure where we wanted to be honest. Like, obviously I'm from northwest London, George is from Yorkshire, so we haven't got, unless we move to like one of those places, we're not going to have family around us. We knew we didn't want to be in London, but we also decided we weren't going to go all the way up to Yorkshire, so we kind of needed to find a middle ground basically, but weren't set on anywhere. We just knew we wanted a bit more of a village feel, we liked village pubs, and we set out like really what we wanted from a house. And I think the house was like the most important thing as well, like being able to have like a big garden and like an open plan kitchen and loads of space to just like as our first home basically. So we started looking in January. We looked in quite a few different places around like Warwickshire, Northamptonshire, more or less places that were between Yorkshire and London, like on the M1, so it was access for both of us. George also works over near Cambridge, so we needed access to all of that, and I still work in London, so we just needed something that was like commutable for everything basically. So we ended up finding a house, which is obviously the house that we're in now, that we just loved. Like we viewed quite a few over we probably actually started looking, now I think about it, we started looking a couple of months before, just kind of not seriously, just started to like see what was around, like in Leicestershire as well. We looked in Market Harbour, which was quite nice, but just like having a little bit of like a look at what was on the market and what we might want. And nothing really caught our like attention, if I'm honest. Nothing wowed me. We just didn't feel quite like home or right. And then we viewed this house, and we absolutely loved it. Like, we just walked in and we were just like, this is so nice. Like, I just remember that feeling. And I mean, it was helped because I think they had the underfloor heating on and they had candles on, and it was just so nice. So I think that's a trick to selling a house, but it just felt so homely. And we really liked the village. Obviously it was a village we'd never been to before, so we didn't really know, but yeah, we just really liked the feel of the house and everything that's been done to it and the place. So we were like, I think this might be the one, but committing and like putting an offer in is really scary. And we also then knew we would just, if we get it and it goes through, we're moving here, which we don't really know. I actually get a lot of questions about leaving London and moving to the countryside, and like what's that like, and if it's a good idea. So I'm going to do a little bit of I'll go through that as like a Q&A towards the end. But we basically did pick our village based on our house because we just were in love with the house. And I knew that I spend so much time at home as well that like I needed to really feel happy here. And I wanted a house I could host in as well, given that I knew my family and friends wouldn't be near. I wanted somewhere that I can have people here and they can stay and they can come around and stuff like that, which is exactly what we've got. So we've actually got a 4-bedroom house now, which is lovely. It's a 1950s house, and it had the open plan kitchen already done, which obviously is a huge benefit because we kind of knew we wouldn't want to renovate from the start just because of how busy we are at the moment and obviously how much it costs. So we are doing renovation projects within the house. We're building a utility room, which I will actually give you an update at the end and show you the state of it basically and what we're doing and the plans for it. The kitchen had been done, which is lovely. I've just realised this like sun's going in and out, so this lighting's probably changing loads, but hey ho, that's like March weather for you. It had the open plan kitchen done and it had the loft already done. So the loft has been made into a bedroom with an ensuite, which is now our room. And it's got 3 bedrooms in the middle floor and a bathroom, and then downstairs you've got like the open plan kitchen, a family room, living room and a downstairs toilet. So it's a pretty spacious house, and like for what we saw it up for, we were like, we have to go for this. This is the nicest one we've seen. And the garden is also huge, which is what George really wanted, as well as like a garage for him to just be in all the time. And it also backs onto the countryside, so there's nothing out the back, just pure countryside, which is lovely. It was a no-brainer that we had to go for this house. Obviously didn't know the village, but we've got to know it now. We've got to know like the people, the neighbours, and like the local pub. And it's just like, when you're in the countryside, or when you're in a village, you always get kind of like a nice feeling generally. And I always say that to people, like, work out what's like a priority for you in terms of your house or the location or the commute, and then kind of like figure out if it's right for you. I feel like I need to do a little bit of a house tour, an updated house tour, so I will actually create a video and show you the full house, because since we've moved in, we have been just doing so many projects, more around like the decorating, like the interiors. Obviously the utility room is our big project at the moment. We are going to get the driveway done in summer, garden stuff we're doing. I feel like I need to do an updated house tour, so I'll do that in one of my next few videos. So other than my house, I'm a busy gal. There's a lot going on all the time. I started creating content on Instagram in 2021. I just did it sort of towards the end of the pandemic. I was like, I've got so many travels that I want to share. And I think that's when we started getting into like UK staycations, and everyone was sort of like exploring more of England. So I was like, I'm gonna start sharing this on Instagram quite randomly. And then obviously off the back of that, you sort of get lots of invites to things and trips. So once things opened up, I started being invited to lots of amazing places, which is obviously so grateful for. And I would have never thought like I'd even be doing that, or it's something, yeah, it's just like blows my mind sometimes. So yeah, I started on Instagram, then sort of started putting stuff onto TikTok, and now very recently started YouTube, which is super exciting. But I also still work full time. I think I'm actually crazy, and people always say to me like, how do you do it? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm basically doing 2 full-time jobs and house projects. So yeah, it's just a bit bonkers. I work at John Lewis, and I am the influencer manager there. So I'm actually on both sides of the fence, which I absolutely love. So obviously I work on the brand side, and I work with influencers to create content for our campaigns. And then I also am a content creator myself. So I create content for brands as well. So, I mean, I'm on both sides, and I love it because I get to see both worlds. I get to meet loads of people through sort of both work streams. I get to go to loads of events, and yeah, it just gives me like so much knowledge because I do it as my day job and I do it as my other job or hobby, stroke hobby. So yeah, I love it. And then outside of work and home and stuff like that, I travel a lot. I think a lot of that's obviously come from doing my content, but yeah, we travel a lot. We've always loved doing that, like across the UK and across obviously other places as well. So we are going to Cornwall in a month, and I can't wait. Oh my God, it's my favourite place. We go every year. Absolutely love it. I think I might have mentioned this in my last vlog anyway, but yeah, we're going to a holiday home with my family, which again, very grateful through my blogging basically. And also going to Watergate Bay, which is a hotel in Newquay, which is insane, like amazing. I just tell everyone they need to go. It's so nice. And we are in like the beach loft, and it like overlooks the beach, and they've got like restaurants there. We're gonna go like surfing, and they've got a spa. It's just so good. And again, an amazing stay that I've been invited to go and do. I went about 2 years ago, I think 3 years ago. I did content for them, so yeah, I'm going back, and I just love it. It's amazing. Fingers crossed the weather's good, because May is a bit of like a hit and miss at time, I think, but fingers crossed it's going to be nice. Actually, before that, we're going to Norfolk to another one of Mirror House's locations. I'm actually doing a giveaway with this Mirror House trip as well, so I will say keep your eyes peeled because it's going to be a really exciting giveaway. Everyone was commenting on my last one saying how much they want to go and experience this, so I was like, I think I need to give it away to someone because it is such an amazing experience and something so nice to be able to win. And I like to like give back to people who like help me, you know, build my dream and have these amazing experiences. So yeah, I'm gonna host a giveaway on Instagram, so definitely stay like tuned for that because it's gonna be a good one. I'm really excited to like experience Norfolk. Never really been. Like, I'd like to get over to Norwich. So if you have any recommendations, send them my way. I think it's also tulip time. So I think the tulip gardens are open somewhere around there as well. So drop them in the comments if you have any recommendations for that neck of the woods, because I've not really been there. But that's also a big reason we chose where we are, because we can get to like Norfolk, Cotswolds, Yorkshire, London. We're basically in the middle. I don't even know if I've said it in this vlog now, but we're basically in Northamptonshire, not far from Northampton. We're in a village just outside on the outskirts. I've never actually shared my exact village because just like safety, and villages are quite small. But yeah, we're on a village just outside. All the villages are very cute anyway. And it takes me an hour on the train into London. So with work at John Lewis, I go in about once a week. But yeah, it just takes an hour to get in. So it's so convenient, and like I just feel like you can have this amazing countryside life. Like you can get so much more for your money, but you can also get into London in an hour. So it's like, why not have the best of both? And then also we drive like everywhere for our travels, so we can do all of that so easily. So it's honestly like the dream. I just love it and recommend it to anyone who's thinking about it or has a similar sort of life setup. That's gone a bit off topic. I was talking about travels, but yeah, Cornwall, Norfolk, and then we're going to Barbados. Can't wait. We are staying at my auntie's friend's villa in Barbados, and I'm just, yeah, it's going to be amazing. I went when I was 14 and I'm now 29, so I went a long time ago. But yeah, we're going to spend 2 weeks there, about 2 weeks there in June. So yeah, it's just going to be amazing. Like, you can't beat the Caribbean, so need I say more about that. I'm also a quarter Bayesian, and my dad is from Barbados, so he's got family there. Well, he's born here, but he's Bayesian as well. So we're going to see some family as well, which is obviously really nice. Okay, I've done a lot of yapping now. I feel like it's time to go on to a Q&A and answer some of your questions that were sent through on Instagram. First question, how do you find living in the countryside, and what do you miss about London? This is like probably the most common question I get, because, well, my content now on Instagram is very much around my home, travels, and the countryside, very much like slow living. So I find I get that question is like a very common one, and I think a lot of people are thinking of doing it, especially after like the pandemic. Loads of people sort of moved out and are feeling encouraged by it, slowing down, a slower life. So I find living in the countryside amazing. I feel like that's all I always say. I love it because I think London's great, cities are great, but I think I'll always be like a London girl at heart, and I love like busy places. I do, because that's where I was born, so I'm used to it. But I would say that being able to come in and out of London, but living out, is just the best thing, because you get the best of both worlds, but you're not trapped in that sort of like routine and very busy pace. You can come out and, like I've said before, get more for your money, slow down a bit, meet new people. It's a very like community feel when you're in a village. I can just drive to like anywhere I want to go and drive to the station, hop on the train. So I just think I've got the best of both worlds, and I love it. So yeah, personally, definitely recommend it. What do I miss? I would say well, I've got family and friends there, so obviously miss not being like really near to them. Again, like they can come up, I see them very regularly, I sort of drive down, so you just have to make it a bit of a different setup than obviously popping down the road for a cup of tea. I more have to go for like the day, or sometimes go and stay over. Before I moved, I was a lot younger, so like I was probably 18 and going out every night, and not every night, every weekend, and like being a bit more spontaneous. Now I think I do pre-plan when I'm like seeing people, pre-plan days in London, because I kind of have to pre-book a train, because it's like between anything from like 30 to 60 pounds depending on when you book it. So obviously if you want to pre-book, it's more around the 30, but if not, it could be expensive. So I think I do just miss the bit more spontaneous trips out, and just like having people round the corner, and then you're just in busy London where you can just go out. Probably miss that, but not enough to like want to do that, because that's also people's lives move on, and people aren't just having that. Everyone else has got new lives and doing different things as well. So I just imagine even if I moved back, it wouldn't be the same, because half the people don't even live there anymore. And you know, you do pre-plan things now for birthdays and occasions. So yeah, I think that'd probably be it, but I love my life here. Another question, are you planning on getting another dog? This is like the most common question I get as well, even from family and friends. They're like, do you think you'll get another dog? people at work always ask me. So for a little bit more backstory, I'm going to go get a picture of her or insert one. I had a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel called Casey. I got her when I was 14, and she was just like my child, my pride and joy. It's taken, yeah, I feel like I'll get upset if I go into too much detail, but she was my baby, and she sadly passed away last year in July. She was 14 years old, which is obviously an amazing age. I'm so grateful. Like, I feel like she just lived off love. She has so much love. We're not entirely sure. She passed away in her sleep. Could have been like heart condition, because it's very common in that breed, but also she was 14, so it's quite an old age for a Cavalier. She was actually at my dad's when she passed away. We dropped her there that day. We went to Cornwall because we couldn't take her because she was a lot older. The next morning he rang us up and told us the news. And yeah, I just feel like she waited to not be with us and not be in this house or with me. So we came back from Cornwall and said our goodbyes, etc., and then went back to Cornwall again. It was like a crazy amount of driving, and the last Cornwall trip was pretty traumatic. It wasn't really enjoyable, but obviously I do love it there, so we're going to go back this year, be a bit more positive. Ever since, I've just had endless questions about whether I'll get another dog, and the answer is only when you have a dog, and an old dog, do you realise that getting another dog is not that simple. I think some people do get a dog quite quickly, and I don't know if it's to fill a void or what it is, but I personally just felt so traumatised. And you are signing yourself up, sorry if you have a young dog, but it is the reality. You are signing yourself up to go through grief and feel like you're losing your child, what you would consider your child, after 10 years or whenever it might be. And that is like the hardest thing. And I didn't think about that when I got Casey, because I was 14, and my mum always said to me, it's your dog, you need to do everything for this dog, you need to look after this dog. And I did that as much as I could. And as soon as I moved out, I took her with me. She was with me all the time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the trauma of that and going back through it, the grief is just awful. I love dogs. I'm a dog person. I know I will always have dogs in my life. But yeah, getting another dog is a big commitment, and you're signing up. I know it's such a long time till that, and I just don't. And I had so much joy with her, but it is a really hard ending. So we will get another dog. We've been talking about it. Like, I think we'd love a dog between me and George, because Casey was obviously my dog from when I was younger, but he absolutely loved her. We've been talking about potentially Summer and a Spaniel potentially again, but not maybe a Cavalier, probably a different breed. I feel like I couldn't get the same breed that would look similar, like it would never replace. And I think that's the other thing, like, I'll get another dog because I'm getting a dog and because I want a dog, not to fill any void, because it just would never, there'll never be Casey. And that's like what I always tell people, like, I'll do it when I just want to get a dog, but I need to kind of still get over the process, the loss. But yeah, it was last July now, so we're thinking maybe this coming summer, so it might be like around a year. It's in the pipeline, but there's a lot more to it than just getting another dog, I would say. Next question, do you have any gardening plans? That's actually a good question, because I don't get asked a lot about our garden. I might actually just show you it. So this is our garden. In terms of projects, to be honest, I don't know. I haven't fully decided really like what I want to do with it. It is such a lovely garden, such a long garden. It's like backed onto the countryside. George's mum has been busy putting in lots of like plants for us since we moved in. This is what it looks like to the back of the house. So that's the loft conversion, and that's the kitchen. We've got some new garden furniture recently. It's so lovely. I did a little video of it on and put some photos on Instagram. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think because we're doing the utility at the moment, that'll be like the priority, but I would like to, once that's done, is basically re-patio this so it's much nicer, and then maybe have a little outdoor kitchen here. I feel like that would be quite nice. And we previously discussed having like a decking here, which we might move the sofa onto, but yeah, I don't know if that's going to be this year now. I feel like it's probably more of a next year project, but overall, I mean, we love the garden. It's a really nice garden. We've got a lot of trees. We're talking about possibly taking out that tree. But yeah, that's probably about it. This is the utility room. So obviously this is the chaos that builds up to it. So it basically comes off, if I show you from the back. So that's our kitchen, where I was just vlogging from. So it comes off from the side of the house. So this is it was a lean-to, and it still is a bit of a lean-to because we haven't fully done it, but it was a lean-to. So what we've been doing is we've actually been rebuilding this whole wall. Well, George and his dad have been doing it, which is looking so good, and we've insulated it. I did a bit of bricklaying, but I'm not going to take full credit. We've put in a new window and a new door. It's already coming together. The roof at current is an absolute mess. It's just like a plastic roof. And also this is the room. It's just like dumping ground. But it is a really nice size for a utility room. It already has the washing machine in here and the boiler. The boiler is going to be, we're getting a new one, which we're putting over here. Probably have sort of like cupboards all around this side. I want to get a dog sink built under here, which I think will be so good to come in when you have a little mucky dog. Yeah, this is basically the room. At the moment, this is all stuff that needs to go to the car boot, believe it or not. There's so much stuff we've built up over the winter. This is just like the garage. I'm actually going to insert the mood board here so you can have a little look at the kind of theme we're going after. I'm working with Charlotte, who is a colour consultant. She helps me like bring together my vision, the colours, like the flooring, the tiles, like. So basically I've just got like a lovely palette. She helped me with the rest of the house, so it's going to like flow really nicely. But yeah, this is the kind of like scheme. I really love the like deep reds. I want sort of like brick, exposed brick, maybe like a stone floor, because it is like the cut through between the garden and the garage. So it's going to be kind of mucky, and also like it'll probably be where the dog comes in and stuff like that. So I want to keep it quite like earthy vibes. But yeah, that's kind of like the vision I'm going for. But George is like, oh, why are we talking about that? Look at it right now. And I'm like, I'm just there for the end goal. I'm just there for the accessories and putting the nice little bits in. I will keep documenting that because it's actually quite a fun project. And I'll answer one more question. What's next for you? That's a big question. What is next for me? Well, next is tomorrow I'm going for brunch and a Notting Hill day with Rosie, who's been in a few vlogs. We're going for a little day out in London. But what's next in life? Trips, lots of trips, which I've been talking about, which is really exciting. House projects, utility, potential dog, probably all the stuff I've kind of been talking about. There's another question here about, are you married? Not married, so maybe that's coming one day soon. I've always said like when we get engaged, I probably want to be engaged for a while. I feel like we might have kids before we get married potentially. I don't know. I'm not really like to the books, like my family, or we've never like, no one's done anything in order. So I'll just go with the flow really. But yeah, I reckon we'll be engaged for a while before we get married. Like there's no rush. I also don't really want to spend all that money on a wedding right now, if I'm honest. I just kind of prefer the party side of it. So might even just do a small one and then a party. I don't know. We'll see. And I think I'm going to wrap it up there. But I really hope that you enjoyed this little intro, get to know me, a little bit more of a deep dive into my life. I actually really enjoyed just chatting and like updating because I feel like it was overdue. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions or any recommendations for some of the places I've shared that I'm going to as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all soon.